Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into the incredible systems that let all living things, from the fastest cheetah to the most patient tree, sense and respond to the world around them. So let's kick things off with a bit of a puzzle. You've got a cat, right? A blur of motion, pure instinct. And then you've got a sunflower, slowly, deliberately turning its face to the sky. They seem like polar opposites, but they're both fundamentally alive and both are reacting to their environment. The real question is, how? You see, at its core, this ability to react is pretty much what life is all about. It's this universal challenge. Whether you need to find food, escape from becoming food, or just get enough sunlight to grow, every single organism needs a system for control and coordination. And as we're about to see, animals and plants have come up with some very different but equally brilliant solutions to this shared problem. All right, first up, the animal kingdom. Their whole strategy is built for incredible speed and precision. We're talking about a system designed to react in literally the blink of an eye. So what are we talking about here? Well, it's the nervous system. You can think of it like a biological superhighway, or maybe the body's own high-speed wired internet. It's this amazing network of specialized cells called neurons, and their entire job is to shoot information as electrical impulses from one part of the body to another, almost instantly. Okay, so how does this lightning-fast journey actually work? Well, it all starts when a bit of information gets picked up by a dendrite. That sets off an electrical impulse that just zips down a long fiber called the axon. When it gets to the end, that signal triggers the release of chemicals, which then have to jump across a tiny gap to kickstart the whole process in the very next neuron. And that tiny gap? It's called the synapse. This little space is everything. It's the crucial relay point where the message has to switch, just for a moment, from an electrical signal to a chemical one, so it can cross that space and keep the message going. It's a remarkably clever and efficient system. So this system is incredibly fast. But is it fast enough for everything? Imagine you touch a hot stove. You don't have time to consciously think, that feels hot. I should probably move my hand now, right? By the time your brain processed all of that, you'd have a serious burn. The body needs a shortcut, an override. And this is the body's brilliant solution, a two-track system. On one side, you have your voluntary actions, the conscious stuff, like deciding to get up and walk across the room. That involves your brain. But for emergencies, you've got the reflex action. It's totally automatic, a protective instinct that actually bypasses the brain. The spinal cord takes charge and makes that split-second decision to, say, yank your hand away from that flame. Now, let's totally switch gears and look at plants. They face the same basic challenges of survival, but they have to solve the problem without a single nerve or muscle to their name. Theirs is a strategy of patience and, well, deliberate action. And don't let their slow pace fool you. Plants are anything but passive. They are constantly in motion. They bend, they turn, they grow, and it's all in direct response to things like a touch, the direction of sunlight, or even the pull of gravity. It's a whole world of hydraulics and chemistry playing out in what just looks to us like slow motion. Plant movement really breaks down into two main types. First, you've got these fast, reversible movements, like the touch-me-not plant that folds up its leaves. This isn't magic. It's actually a clever hydraulic trick where the plant's cells rapidly change their water pressure. And then you have the slow, permanent movements that are tied to growth, which we call tropism. This is what you see when a seedling gradually bends toward a window, a patient, permanent reshaping of the plant itself to get what it needs. Okay, so we've seen two very different strategies, a high-speed electrical network in animals and the slow growth-based system in plants. But here's where the story gets really interesting, because there's a surprising similarity that actually connects them both. It turns out both kingdoms rely on a second, kinda wireless communication system. They both use chemical messengers called hormones. Now, unlike a nerve impulse that can only reach cells it's physically connected to, hormones can travel through the whole body, potentially reaching every single cell and coordinating widespread, long-lasting changes. And this chemical messaging creates some really amazing parallels. Think about it. For a sudden threat, an animal's body releases adrenaline for that fight or flight response. Well, for the slow, steady pursuit of sunlight, a plant uses a hormone called auxin to direct its growth. It's the same basic principle, whether it's insulin regulating blood sugar in us or abscisic acid signaling a plant to conserve water. They're all just specific chemical signals coordinating action. So, after all that, what's the big takeaway here? What does comparing these two incredible systems really tell us about how life works? It really all comes down to this. Life uses two fundamental methods to achieve the same goal of control and coordination. You've got the fast, targeted electrical system for immediate, short-lived responses. And then you have the slower, widespread chemical system for more persistent, long-lasting changes. Animals rely heavily on both. Plants have become the absolute masters of the chemical approach. And this leaves us with a pretty deep final thought. From that simple reflex that saves us from a burn to the hormones that influence our growth and even our moods, these deeply programmed systems are a powerful reminder that survival is this beautifully complex and often automatic process. It really makes you wonder just how much of what we do is a conscious choice and how much is the result of these ancient, elegant survival mechanisms doing their job.